Welcome to Grace on Fire, supporting one another and bravely creating with wild abandon that which sets our hearts on fire. And this is a very special highlight, very special day. Just got a flock of geese flying over us. We are here with a very amazing musician, a famous, talented musician who's also a dear friend who I love and adore. And so I feel very blessed. And he is Shawn Gallaway. He is a musician, visual artist, recording artist, author. He's a workshop facilitator and an energetic healer. So let's give a great round of applause for Shawn Gallaway.
Thank you very much. All right.
Shawn, I was just so honored to have you here today. And I'd love to ask you, would you tell us about all these amazing things we just mentioned that you are up to in the world and a little bit about who you are?
Sure. You want me to hold that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I started in the music business in Nashville, Tennessee about, 34 years ago. And I did a growth work experience, and that's when I started realizing that I wanted to write music that actually meant something. I like to do party music and all that stuff, and I felt like, it's got to be more than that. So anyway, I got onto my healing path, and I studied a couple of different modalities. I got into breath work, and energy work was the thing that really drawed me. I did a lot of deep interpersonal work, family of origin healing, the wounds of the family, ancestral lineage stuff. One of the big things that I do is I learned how to paint along the way, and it was a really cool experience to learn how to paint from feeling as opposed to technique. And so I was held in a place of safety where I could just explore that, and it worked out just great. So, and the other thing that I've been doing for years now, is sitting in men's circles and facilitating men's circles, and then that bridged over to doing men's and women's circles, and vision quests. I studied a lot of the Native American spirituality, a lot of Celtic spirituality, and some African spirituality. And so that's primarily what I do. My mission in life is to heal. And my purpose is to assist others in healing themselves and to bringing peace and, just healing to this planet and this world and to all people, all animals, all sentient life. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm here to do. So, yeah.
Wow. And Shawn is amazing. Your music does just that. It heals, it uplifts, it inspires, it transforms people just by listening and the words and then your energy and when you play. And, you are a transformational entertainment person. And so I would love for you to tell the listeners about that, about what is transformational entertainment, and also he does personalized theme songs for people and organizations. So could you tell us about both of those things?
Yeah, over the years we've struggled to find a definition for what category I fit into. It's a lot of Americana, but a lot of it was conscious music for a while. But transformational entertainment came from Hollywood, actually, where they're creating films and that really relate to the healing aspect of humanity and the earth. And so that sort of has begun to stick for me. And let me give you an example of that. The song that I'm most known for in my career is a song called I Choose Love. And I wrote that song when the towers fell back in 9/11 years ago. And that was a song that came to me after that event, where it was like, we have a choice as humanity. We can choose love and morph out of that kind of fear-based, way of living, or we can choose more fear. And unfortunately, our governing bodies and powers that be chose more fear, and we got a lot more war after that experience. So what this song addresses is the ability to choose, and come into your own choice of love in your life, and to overcome your own fear, and to be supported in making those choices that are loving and kind and what I call critical care for yourself. And the more of us that begin to take those steps towards loving, then that transforms everything. So that's one song that's based around transformational entertainment. Now, that CD called I Choose Love is a series of 15 songs that I've done a painting to that goes to each one, and we've also written it into a Broadway musical and a screenplay. And basically, it tells the journey of my healing process. From the calling, where you get sort of clocked over the head with I would call it cosmic 2x4, and that can be in the form of like a dis-ease, a relationship ending, a death in family, or you win the lottery. It could be anything from really high, deep pain to high joy. And it's a calling back to your heart and your soul. And all the way to the source, where a lot of what we're healing on this planet now is that separation. Bridging the gap, in our subconscious, conscious minds from being separate from our Creator, or that essence of love itself. So that's what transformational entertainment is. And I love singing songs that speak to that, especially when it's an organization or an author that's putting out a message into the world that's transformative. So I've written I have a whole CD, a new CD out right now called Inspired, and they're all songs that are written for organizations and authors that are putting out a loving message into the world. And there's Infinite Love and Gratitude for Darren Weissman. I did one for Robert Holden and Greg Braden. Just did a great one for a company in Texas, and the story was this woman sold her company to her employees, 500 of them. They all own it together, and their motto was people first. Their relationships with their people are front and foremost, and as a result, they're a big family, and they're doing gangbusters. They have a huge profit margin, and they're well loved in their community. They're doing a lot of good work. So, that one's called People First. So
nice. Thank you so much, Shawn. And the I Choose Love, if you have not heard that song, go on YouTube, Shawn Gallaway, I Choose Love, or Infinite Love and Gratitude, two of my favorite.
Grace on Fire.
I love all his songs, so yeah, it's Grace on Fire. I mean, we love a theme song. So I just love what you bring to the world and the energy that you bring forth and you create. You're such a light into this world right now, and we need that. We need people like you who are bringing your art, your incredible music, and your soul, your workshops, and you're an author. And I hear that you've written one book and that you are in the process of writing a second book.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about your books?
Sure. The first book I've written, again, it goes back to the I Choose Love project, and it's 15 songs that again cover my transformational journey. But what I do is I write a story about each song and where it came from, and it's very focused on this song means this. This is what I've done to create and heal in this aspect of my life. And I've also done a drawing, and so this is an art book. It's like a coffee table book where you can put the CD on and listen and sort of leaf through and go on your own journey. And that's the value of that book. You can plug yourself into it. And it seems as things are escalating on the planet right now that this book helps people come back to their heart coherence. And it's like there's a reference to a heart in every picture and on each song. And it's like, it's about really initiating the heart of humanity. And, it's something that happens when you actually take a topic and put visual and musical elements to it. It just gets into the system, into the soul, into the bones and the cells at a much, deeper level than if you're just reading words. So that said, that's that book. But I'm also in the process of writing just the regular standard I Choose Love book, which will go into depth about my own personal experience and, what does choosing love really mean? And how do you maintain that choice? And how do you move through the fear that arises once you make that choice? Because, consciousness raising and healing, it's not easy. And you will face your darkest night. It's, it's sort of the required course. And all of us healers have been through that, as I have, And so that book will go into depth about what I've had to do to heal myself and the groups of people that I've worked with and community to come together and support each other's healing process. So that's what those two books are about. I'm sure there's probably going to be another one in there somewhere, but that's what I'm working on right now.
Well, keep them coming, Shawn, because they're fabulous. what you put out into the world and what you express and create is transformational. It's healing and inspiring. And I've looked through your first book. I have it, and it's phenomenal. If you haven't gotten it, it would be great for any kind of situation. I have mine on a coffee table, so it's.
Kids love it because it helps them remember who they are.
Yeah, and
they just sink into it. It's amazing how kids love this music. They remember it, and. I've had all kinds of mothers especially call me and say, I put that on and my kids, they settle down. It's so it's been fun to experience that too. And let me just talk about joy for a second too, related to this journey. If there wasn't laughter and joy along the way, we wouldn't do it. So I just want to let everybody know that it's, it's arduous, but it's also incredibly joyful and fun once you get through some of the darker stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And when you listen to Shawn's music, you can't help but feel very joyful. And you want to get up and dance and sing along as well. Shawn, you are involved in workshops. You facilitate several workshops, healing workshops, art workshops. And I've taken both of your workshops, 2 at least, and found enormous benefit from both of them. I'd love for you to share with the audience more about your workshops that you facilitate.
Well, let's stay with the arts for a second. I do a course called Paint Your Art Out, and basically what I do is hold space for people to find their own inner artist and give them permission to explore that. And again, we don't teach technique. I teach how to get into your feeling, your emotional body, and to understand it has a color. And when you, let's say, for instance, if you're pissed off, what color is that? Well, it's red. Well, how do you want to move your body? I want to throw paint. Well, go ahead and do that, and yell at it if you want, And then you're done with that emotion and you move on to the next one. What are you feeling next? I feel empowered. What color is that? Well, yellow. Well, great. How do you want to move your body? I want to put my hands in it and stick it on there. It's like, great. So when you, hold a space for someone to explore that, the soul can come forward. And what I tell people is that 2 things. 1, if you want to make a tree exactly the way it looks, go take a picture of it. You'll save us a lot of time. And 2, I'm interested in how you express tree. And so we hold a space for that to happen, and it's great fun. It's a lot of fun, especially if you've been shamed in some way, especially when you're a little kid of staying in, going outside of the lines, perhaps when you're in kindergarten. I've worked with lots of people who, they just have such a wound around their artfulness. And it's like, we don't have to be a Picasso or a Rembrandt to enjoy the arts, It's and it's always the first to go in the school systems, and it's the heart of the matter. So anyway, I really encourage people finding their art again. That's that workshop. The other workshop is something that's really dear to my soul, and it's on gender reconciliation, and we call it the dance of the divine feminine, the divine masculine. And what we're understanding right now is that we've been living in a patriarchal society for thousands of years, and this sort of male shadow dominant structure has distorted authentic masculinity and distorted authentic femininity equally. And what we do in this workshop is we come together to explore those wounds and to come back to the authentic masculine and feminine, and then also to explore the gender issues, the differences between men and women, so that they're clearly understood and that there's nothing wrong with either one of them. We're just different. And when we understand the differences, then we can build bridges and then come back to that internal union, that masculine and feminine marriage within, that allows us to step forward in our lives with wholeness and fulfillment. So those are 2 of the workshops I do. And I do some healing, energetic healing, teach people how to, I was, given a process many years ago about how to balance the chakras and hands-on sort of energy work. And I've, in this process of healing myself, I've had all kinds of stuff open up for me where I could put my hands on people's feet, and it's like there's all kinds of stuff that I can see in the system and healing that way, and I can teach people how to do that. So
Thank you, Shawn. I have also been blessed to have a personal healing. It was last year we did a healing. You did a healing. That was profound. And your courses, look him up. Take his courses. They're amazing. The divine masculine and feminine. It was huge process, and you just move through so much stuff so fast. You're genius in facilitating people through that.
Thank you.
So hopefully, if you're able to, if he's in your Shawn Gallaway's in your town offering the course, don't hesitate. Take the course. Everybody's nodding. Out there nodding. Yes, take it. I want to ask you one last question, and it's just for you. I know you are on this transformational journey. You are making a powerful, positive impact in the world with the work that you do, touching so many people's lives. I want to know what your vision is for humanity as you go through this global transformation.
I mean, that's a big question, and obviously, I'm the I choose love guy, so it's like I would like to see everybody come back to their heart, and understand that we indeed have, we all are one body of humanity. We all are contributing to that one heart of humanity, and that I do believe that with some of the changes that I'm feeling in myself, and that we're all making, that we can come back to that heartfulness. We can come back to kindness and compassion. We can move beyond judgment for race, creed, color, whatever. And so I see a prosperous world for all of us, and even on a bigger stretches, it's like, wouldn't it be an incredible experience to see what's out beyond this earth, and understand that perhaps there's life elsewhere, and if the heart of humanity is intact, maybe they'd come visit us, So that's a bigger part of the vision. But, primarily world peace. Prosperity for all, where no one is starving. I would like to see, our medical and our financial institutions and our governmental institutions transforming, and again, coming out of that patriarchal society and greed, and moving more into a balanced way of being. So I see a lot of joy coming. It's going to be pretty intense for the next couple of years, but I do believe that we're going to have the 1,000 years of peace that the Bible speaks about. So, yeah, that's my vision for humanity. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shawn. What a beautiful, powerful vision. And I would like to ask one more question. If anyone is interested in getting in touch with you, finding out about your music, your tour, I know you tour around. You're here in Salt Lake City, and you were down in St. George, and you travel around the world. How would someone get in touch with you and find out your schedule, your CDs, your art, your transformational classes?
Yeah, my website is Shawn, SHAWN, Gallaway, GALLAWAY.com. And my email is Shawn@ShawnGallaway.com. Feel free to contact me, and love to come to your neck of the woods and do a concert, do some workshops, have some fun, and do some healing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Shawn. So much. We so appreciate you being here. We appreciate all of you that are here live in the audience. And let's give Shawn Gallaway a great applause for this time and honoring us with his beautiful words. Thank you, Shawn. Yeah.